This is a great time in all of our lives, and that Yahweh God truly has kept his promise that he would visit us in the land of our captivity. We're the only people in the United States of America that are captives. We hold certain degrees. We're captives. We're slaves. We're chattel slaves. We are the people of this country that holds these titles to make us aware of who we are. Because no one in this country is a chattel slave that was sold as human property other than us. So I'd like to open up with this prayer. Yahweh God, bless each and every one of us that we may be able to endure. Bless us with the spirit of obedience. Bless us to have the patience. Bless us to have the determination. Yahweh God, who is God, we thank you for the very breath, for the very clothing, for the very morsel of food, for the very substance that you provide for us daily. Yahweh God, may your name be ever praised. Bless each and every one of us. Bless those of us that are not here. Bless those of us that are here. And may the words that will come out of the Torah, the prophecy, and the writings, may it nourish us. May the Spirit of God, Yahweh God be with us forever and ever. Amen. Amen. I would like for us to turn to the book of Job. In the book of Job, chapter 9, the only way you can decipher the circumstances that the earth is in, you got to know why it's that way. I'd like for us to turn to Job 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Now, he said the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And therefore, because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, let's go to St. Matthew's 24. St. Matthew's 24. Job 9, chapter 9, verse 24. I'm at St. Matthew's 24, verse 22. Okay? 24, 22, St. Matthew's. It says here, except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. He said, except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But Yahweh God has said that the severity of the circumstances that we will encounter is so destitute, because if he doesn't shorten the time, there will be no flesh saved. This is something that when we look in the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he know that he has but what? A short time. And Yahweh God said he shortened the time because the wickedness is so strong without any movement of decreasing. It only increased. That the wrath is so intense that if Yahweh God doesn't shorten the time, it will be no flesh can be saved. Now let's go to Psalm 10 and see why. Let's go to Psalm 10 and get the verification why he's like this. You understand? Psalm 10, I'm going to start at verse 4. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Elohimah. Elohimah is not in all his thoughts. We're in trouble. He said, God ain't in all his thoughts. He don't have nothing to do with God. Let's go to Psalm 7, verse 11. It says, Allahayimah judges the righteous. Allahayimah is angry with the wicked every day because he is intensifying his attack upon the people. You understand? It also says in Psalm 10 verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. He don't care nothing about no God. As for all his enemies, he puffs at them. He don't care nothing about them. He's in total mode to what? To self-destruct. When a man doesn't care about his own children or his own inhabitants, then everybody else is in trouble. So we can see his nature is to self-destruct. So let's go to Psalm 37. Psalm 37. I want to show you the intensity. It says here, Psalm 37, verse 14. The wicked draweth out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and the needy. And let's go back to Psalm 10 to tell you how he's doing it. That's verse 10, verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the village. In the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He's doing this secretly, unbeknown to the people. And how is he doing it? Let's go to Isaiah. Let me show you how he's doing it. Isaiah 10. I want to show you how he's doing it. Isaiah 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Aren't they doing that, my friends, brothers and sisters? Aren't they robbing us? Isaiah 10 from 1 chapter verse 1 to 2. Let's go to Proverbs 11 to show you that this book tells exactly what he's doing. We're in Proverbs 11, verse 18. It says, the wicked worketh a deceitful work. This work is a deceitful work, an ungodly work.
Proverbs 11.
Yes.
11:18.
You understand? He's not dealing fair with you. Because of why? Let's go to Psalm 52. Psalm 52, because I want to make it clear what type of person he is. So I don't want you to...
That was Proverbs 11 what?
11:18.
Okay. I'm at Psalm 52. Psalm 52 verse 7. It says, lo, this is the man that made not Allahayimah his strength, but trusts in abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his what? Wickedness. Then the earth given, this is how he grows strong in deceitfulness, ungodliness. You understand? Let's go back to Proverbs, because this is what we got to know how it's going to work out for us. Proverbs 18:11. We want to know exactly how he's thinking. Proverbs 18:11. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as a high wall in his own conceit. So his riches is his strength. He ain't worrying about God, Yahweh God. You understand? But let us see the circumstances. Let's go to Psalm 49. Psalm 49. I love this because it tells exactly. Psalm 49, I'm starting at verse 6 to 7. They that trusteth in their wealth and boasteth themselves in the multitudes of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Allahayimah a ransom for him. For the redemption of their souls is precious, and it cease forever. I'm going down to 11. Their inner thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generation. They call their land after their own names. See, this is what they do. Now let's go down to 16 of that same chapter. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he died, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he liveth, he blesses his soul, and men will praise thee when thou doest well to thyself. He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light. Because he trusts in his wealth. He boasts himself in his wealth to do wickedness. And therefore, okay, now, let's see. Let's go back to Proverbs. Let me show you how this is going to work out. Proverbs 11, verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. Riches, when the wrath of Yahweh God comes, they can forget about their riches. But let's go to the same Proverbs 23. Proverbs 23. It says here, Proverbs 23, verse 5. Wilt thou set thy eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as a wing, as an eagle towards heaven. He said, riches. Let's go to Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27, verse 24. For riches are not forever. So we can see that the circumstances that he harbors in his heart to do that which is ungodly, that is not right, Yahweh God is going to deal with him. Let's go to Psalm 73. Psalm 73. Let me guide you through this psalm so that you can understand the message that is given. Psalm 73, starting at verse 3. Could somebody read that?
For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth.
And it says at same chapter, verse 12. Go down.
Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches.
Go down to 16 of the same chapter.
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of Elohim, and then understood I therein. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou cast them down into destruction.
Oh, see? Go ahead.
How are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terror.
That's right. See, that's their end. Their end is a terrible end. For let's go back to Proverbs to show you how this end will occur. Proverbs 6, chapter 6, verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly, Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. There's no remedy for the circumstances. Why? Let's go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47, I'm starting at verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rise, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. These circumstances that is written in this book, he has put the circumstances, Isaiah 47 verse 11 to 10. Okay. Now we're going back to Psalm 10. We're going back to Psalm 10. I want to make it clear to you. We're going back to Psalm 10. Psalm 10 verse 11. It says, he has said in his heart, Allahayama has forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. See, he believed that Yahweh God doesn't see these things. And therefore...
Excuse me.
Yes.
You in 8:11?
I'm in 10:11.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
And he says that he has said in his heart, Allahayama has forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Now, let's go back to the book of Revelation 18. Revelation 18. And I'm at starting at verse 7. Anybody want to read that?
How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and she shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the... Revelation 18, now 8.
18:8.
Yes. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh Elohim who judgeth her.
So we can see, and I'd like to go back to Isaiah to compare the statement that is being made so that you can see the correspondence between them. And I will start at Isaiah 47 verse 7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou dost not lay these things to thy heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment. In one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitudes of thy sorcerers, and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. Okay? So we're going to go right back. And we're going to go down to same chapter 12. Stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitudes of thy sorcerers, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitudes of thy counsel. Let now thy astrologers, thy stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. So we can see as we go back to the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 23, it confirms what they had done. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorcerers were all nations deceived. So she labored to bring about this destruction. She labored to make sure that they would not have clarity. She put in the way of the multitude of the people damnation by manipulating. Therefore, the circumstances stand that we who we are, knowing, and I like to go to Psalm 34, 37, to show you her end. 37.
37.
Okay? 35. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yea, yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. In that same chapter,
37:11.
Psalm 37, and that was 35 to 36. I'm at the same chapter, and I'm reading 10, verse 10. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. So we know, and Yahweh God has said, I'm at the same chapter, verse 17. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but Yahweh upholdeth the righteous. He says that the arms of them shall be broken. And he says, I'm at same chapter, I'm at verse 28. For Yahweh loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever. But the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. They shall be cut off. I want to encourage you. Do not let these things that the wicked man has engaged himself in to displease you. It says at verse of the same chapter, Psalm 37, verse 38, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. And I want to encourage you, no matter how bad it looks, Yahweh says in the same chapter, verse 7, rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospers in his way, because of men who bringeth wicked devices to pass. And they don't envy them to believe that they hold the total power of being successful. Yahweh God is not going to allow the wicked man to be successful. I want you to engage in prayer. I want you to engage in proper conduct, keeping of the commandments of Yahweh. And may Yahweh bless you and keep you and strengthen you. And may the Spirit rest upon you and your family. Whatever your endeavors to do, may you be successful in acquiring. May Yahweh have mercy upon us. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.